The rain hammered the roof like it was trying to punch through to my skull, and in that split second when lightning cracked the sky open, I saw him, Jake Harlan, my straight-as-an-arrow neighbor, standing on my porch, soaked to the bone, toolbox in hand. His knock wasn't polite. It was a demand, echoing my frantic text about the Wi-Fi dying mid-storm. And when I yanked the door open, his eyes locked on mine with an intensity that made my heart stutter, like he'd been waiting for this chaos all along. "Elliot, you look like hell," he said, voice rough over the thunder, stepping inside without waiting for an invite. His wet shirt clinging to muscles I had no business noticing, and that's when I knew. This fix wasn't just about cables. I'd always prided myself on keeping things simple in this rainy corner of Seattle. Queen and Hill, with its steep streets lined by craftsman houses and views of the Puget Sound that could steal your breath on a clear day, which, let's be honest, wasn't often. I was 32, a graphic designer freelancing from my creaky two-bedroom rental, the kind of place with bay windows that fogged up in winter and a backyard that begged for a dog. I didn't have the energy to walk. My life was a loop of coffee runs to the corner cafe, late-night scrolls through Grindr that never led anywhere real, and the quiet ache of being out but not quite seen. My family back in Portland knew. Mom sent rainbow mugs for Christmas. Dad grunted approval over awkward phone calls. But here, in this neighborhood of barbecues and minivans, I was just the friendly guy next door who waved too enthusiastically. Jake lived in the blue Victorian 2 houses down, the one with the wraparound porch where he'd grill burgers every Sunday, the smoke wafting over like an invitation I never took. He was 34, a high school history teacher with a laugh that boomed like cannon fire and arms tanned from coaching soccer after school. Married to Sarah, a real estate agent with perfect highlights and a yoga studio habit. They had a 4-year-old daughter, Lily, who rode her tricycle past my window most afternoons, her giggles a soundtrack to my isolation. Jake was the epitome of straight. Ford truck in the driveway, Seahawks jersey on game days, that easy bro hug with the other dads at block parties. We chatted over fences, him complaining about grading papers, me nodding along, stealing glances at the way his flannel stretched across his shoulders. Harmless, I told myself, fantasy fodder for lonely nights. But that storm in early October changed the code. I'd been deep in a client deadline, pixels blurring on my screen, when the power flickered and the internet flatlined. No backup, no hotspot, nothing. Panic set in. This project was my rent money. I texted Jake on a whim. He'd mentioned once he was handy with routers after fixing the Harlan setup. Wi-Fi's toast. Storm got it. Help. His reply was instant. On my way. 10 minutes later, there he was, dripping Seattle gray into my entryway rug. He shook off like a Labrador, water pooling at his boots, and I handed him a towel from the bathroom, our fingers brushing in that accidental way that sends sparks if you're paying attention. "Thanks, man. You're a lifesaver," I said, trying to sound casual, leading him to the living room where my laptop sat accusingly on the coffee table, surrounded by empty takeout containers from the Thai place down the hill. No sweat. Storms like this fry half the grid. He dropped to one knee by the modem, toolbox clanging open, his damp hair falling over his forehead in a way that made me want to push it back. I hovered, useless, offering beer he declined, on call for Lily if Sarah's out late, and watched his hands, calloused and sure, twisting wires with the focus of someone who built things to last. Thunder rolled again, closer, and the lights dimmed. He cursed under his breath, a low rumble that matched the sky. Gonna have to reset the whole line. Basement. I nodded, flipping on the hall light, and we descended the narrow stairs, the air thick with mildew and the faint buzz of the water heater. It was cramped down there. Pipes snaking the ceiling, boxes of forgotten college textbooks stacked against the wall. And when he bent to trace the coaxial, his shoulder grazed mine. I froze, heat flooding my face, and stepped back too quick, knocking over a cardboard box. Books tumbled, one landing open at his feet. A dog-eared copy of Giovanni's Room, Baldwin's words staring up like a confession. He picked it up, glancing at the cover, then at me. "Good book." His tone was neutral, but his eyes held mine a beat too long. "Yeah, hits hard." I snatched it away, heart pounding, and busied myself with the flashlight app on my phone. We worked in silence after that, him splicing, me holding the light steady, the storm raging outside like it was furious at our proximity. When the modem finally hummed back to life upstairs, relief washed over us both. High five that lingered, his palm rough against mine, and then he was packing up, towel around his neck, saying he'd bill me in favors. But as he reached the door, lightning flashed again, illuminating the backyard where branches whipped like flags in surrender. "Hey!" he said, turning back, rain still pattering the awning. "You okay? Really? You seem off." I laughed it off, but it came out brittle. "Just the deadline, and the storm, makes everything feel bigger." He nodded, slow, like he was weighing words. "Sarah's at a showing till midnight. Lily's with her folks. If you want company, cards or something, text me." It was casual, neighborly, but his stance shifted, filling the doorway, blocking the wet world outside. I swallowed. "Yeah, maybe." He left, truck lights cutting through the downpour, and I stood there, modem beeping victory, but my pulse racing like I'd run a marathon. That night, as rain softened to drizzle, I replayed it. The brush of shoulders, the book on the floor, the offer hanging unspoken. Sleep came fitful, dreams tangled with thunder and hazel eyes. The next morning, sun broke through, a rare October gift, and I woke to Lily's tricycle bells outside, Sarah's laugh floating on the breeze. Normalcy. I brewed coffee strong, black, and checked my laptop. Project saved, client thrilled. But my phone buzzed with a text from Jake. "Fixed? Beers tonight to celebrate." Beers, plural. At my place? I typed back, "Hell yes. 7? His thumbs up emoji felt like a wink. That evening, he showed with a six-pack and a deck of cards. Sarah waving from their porch as she bundled Lily for bed. "Teacher's pet night," he joked, stepping inside, and we settled at the kitchen table, the one with the wobbly leg I never fixed. Poker, low stakes, quarters from a jar, and stories swapped like chips. He talked about growing up in Spokane, football scholarships he blew on parties, meeting Sarah at a bonfire on Alki Beach. She was firelight and certainty, he said, dealing a hand, but his voice dipped, like certainty had cracks. I shared scraps. Portland rain matching Seattle's. Coming out junior year to a mom who baked cookies and a dad who bought me my first beer. Felt like shedding skin. His gaze on me then, steady, searching, made the room shrink. By the third beer, cards forgotten, we were on the couch, storm stories turning personal. "Ever feel like you're playing a role?" he asked, staring at the TV flickering some old western, volume low. "All the time," I admitted, knees inches apart on the cushions. "Like the world's a stage, and you're ad-libbing lines that don't fit." He turned, face close, beer breath mingling with mine. "What if the role's not yours?" Thunder, distant now, rumbled agreement. And then, unexpected as the lightning that started it all, his hand found my knee. Not a grab, a rest, tentative testing. My breath caught, world narrowing to that pressure, warm through denim. "Jake!" "Shoo!" His thumb traced a circle, eyes dark with storm remnants. "Just this." Our lips met clumsy, urgent. His first, tasting of hops and hesitation. Mine hungry for what I'd imagined in fence-line glances. It wasn't fireworks. It was floodgates. Rain we'd both held back. Hands in hair, shirts tugged but not off. The kiss deepening until we broke, gasping, foreheads pressed. "What the hell are we doing?" he whispered, voice wrecked. "I don't know, but it feels right." He pulled back, panic flashing. "Sarah, Lily, this can't." "It's already," I said soft, hand on his cheek. He leaned into it, eyes closing, then stood abrupt, grabbing his jacket. "Text me tomorrow, please." Door clicked shut, and I sank into the couch, lips tingling, heart a war drum. Beers warm on the table, cards scattered like fallen leaves. The unexpected had happened, all right, and it was just the beginning. The days blurred after that kiss, a secret rhythm pulsing under the neighborhood's hum. Mornings, I'd catch Jake in his kitchen window, coffee mug raised in silent toast, his smile crooked with whatever war waged inside him. Afternoons, Lily's tricycle pauses at my fence, her tiny voice piping questions. Uncle Elliot, why do you draw pictures on computers? While Jake watched from the porch, eyes lingering when she wasn't looking. Evenings, texts lit my phone. Innocuous at first. Seahawks win? You watching? Then laced with code. Storms back tonight. Power out. When it wasn't, we'd find excuses. My leaky faucet. His advice on backyard fire pit. Those stolen hours built like a bonfire, slow and searing. We'd sit on my back patio. Under string lights I'd hung post-storm. Beers sweating in the chill. Talking in circles around the truth. He'd confess fragments. Teenage crushes on locker room teammates dismissed as bro stuff. A college hookup with a dorm mate blamed on tequila. Thought it was a phase. Then Sarah, the ring, Lily. Fit. Until you. I'd trace the veins on his forearm, marveling at the map of a life so parallel yet worlds apart. I'm not asking you to blow it up. Just be here. With me. One night, mid-November, fog rolling off the sound like smoke signals, we escalated. No storm, just the quiet creak of my screen door as he slipped in after Sarah's book club. We ended up in the living room, fire crackling in the insert I'd installed for ambience. His head in my lap as I read aloud from that Baldwin book, voice steady despite the tremor in my chest. His fingers laced with mine, thumb stroking knuckles, and when I closed the pages, he pulled me down, kisses slower now, exploratory. Shirt stayed on, boundaries we didn't name, but hands roamed backs, waists, the curve of hips, mapping trust in touches that said more than words. I dream about this, he murmured against my neck, breath hot. You. No hiding. Me too, but doubt gnawed. His wedding band glinted in firelight, a cold reminder. Sarah noticed nothing, or so he swore. She's swamped with listings. He'd say, guilt etching lines around his eyes, but I saw the strain. His laughs forced at block parties, where he'd clap my shoulder too hard, overcompensating. Once, during Thanksgiving prep, turkeys thawing on porches, he cornered me by the Harlan's garage. Dinner next week? Family thing. Bring pie or whatever. Casual, but his hand squeezed my bicep. Promise hidden. I went. The Harlan dining room glowed with candles. Sarah's poinsettias early blooming. Lily chattering about reindeer. Jake at the head, me across, our feet brushing under the table. Accidental at first, then deliberate, a current neither could ignore. Conversation flowed. Politics, we skirted Trump-era scars. Teaching woes, his Civil War unit bombing. My designs for a local queer youth center. Sarah leaned in. That's amazing, Elliot. Jake's always saying we need more community stuff. Her eyes warm, oblivious, and guilt twisted me like a knife. After pie, my apple crisp a hit, he walked me home, dusk purple over the hill. At my door, quick kiss, his whisper fierce. Can't stop thinking. About you. Same. But as his truck taillights faded, I wondered how long before the role he played cracked wide. December crept in, Christmas lights twinkling premature defiance against short days. Our rhythm held. Texts, touches. That one night he snuck over post-midnight, falling asleep tangled on my couch, waking to dawn panic and a hasty exit. Love you, he'd mumbled half asleep. Words I tucked away like fragile ornaments. Then, the betrayal, New Year's Eve, neighborhood party at the cul-de-sac. String lights, bonfire, spiked cider flowing. I arrived solo, chatting with the Wilsons about sound views, when Jake pulled me aside behind the oak tree strung with bulbs. Sarah's talking divorce, he said, voice low, urgent. Not us, her career. Wants to move to Bellevue for a firm. But Lily. And me? I told her about us. My stomach dropped. What? Last night. Couldn't lie anymore. She cried. Elliot. Said she suspected. We're figuring. His eyes pleaded. I choose you. Us. Relief warred with terror. Freedom at what cost? We rejoined the party. His arm brushing mine in the crowd. Sarah across the fire, face composed but red-rimmed. Lily on my lap, giggling at sparklers, innocent anchor. Midnight struck, cheers and auld lang syne, and in the chaos his kiss, public, brief on my cheek, but his hand slipped mine a squeeze. Hope flickered, but January brought the storm, not rain but reckoning. Sarah filed, amicable on paper, custody shared. Neighborhood whispers started. Harlan's splitting? Over what? Jake moved into a studio downtown, closer to school, and our time exploded. Dinners at Pike Place, walks on the waterfront, hands held without fear. This is it, he'd say, kissing me under the market's neon. Real. Yet doubt lingered. One night, over pasta at my place, he got a call, Lily sick, fever spiking. He bolted, me trailing to the truck. At their old house, now hers, he hugged her tight, and I waited outside, snow flurrying, feeling the outsider. Your family too, he said later, but the words rang hollow. Climax hit Valentine's, brutal. We'd planned a getaway, cabin up by Snoqualmie. No phones. But en route, his truck skidded on black ice, spinning into a guardrail. No injuries, but the tow truck delay stranded us at a roadside diner, hearts pounding. Life's too short, he said, gripping my hand across Formica. Marry me? Someday? Tears pricked. Yes. Back home, bliss short-lived. March parent-teacher night. A dad cornered him. Heard you're different now. Keep it away from the kids. Jake brushed it off, but I saw the fracture. Then Sarah's bomb. Lily's asking why Daddy has a boyfriend. She's 4, Jake. Confused. He spiraled, late texts, canceled plans. Need space to fix this, he said one rainy April evening on my porch, eyes averted. For her. Betrayal stung deeper than rain. Space? Or out? Not out. Just time. He walked away, leaving me with echoes of thunder. Months dragged. May blooms mocking my wilt. I threw into work, designed that youth center mural. Rainbows weaving evergreens, symbol of roots unbroken. Jake's texts dwindled to co-parent updates, polite walls. Block party June, he came with Lily, Sarah too, united front. Our eyes met across the grill. His pained, mine resigned. Summer solstice, longest day, I sat backyard alone. Fire pit cold. Footsteps, him, six-pack in hand. Missed this, he said, sitting close. Missed you. Words tumbled. His therapy, Sarah's support. She's straight but sees it. Lily's drawings of Uncle Elliot with hearts. I was scared. Of losing her. Of being me. But you're my anchor. We kissed. Fire relit. Not bonfire blaze but steady embers. No proposals yet, but plans. Family trips, coming out to his folks. A life woven not despite, but with. That fall, as leaves turned, we built, slow, humanistic. Jake moved back to the neighborhood. One house over. Lily splitting weeks. Sarah dating a broker with a laugh like his. No fairy tale perfection. Conflicts lingered. Jealous flares. Custody tugs. Societal side eyes. But in the quiet, hand in hand watching sound sunsets, we found grace. The unexpected. Not the kiss, but the choice. To love messy, to heal fractured, to claim joy in a world that bends but doesn't break. And on stormy nights, we'd laugh, Wi-Fi fixed long ago. But us? Still sparking. The solstice fire we'd lit that June evening burned low by midnight. Embers glowing like the tentative hope in Jake's eyes as he leaned back on his elbows. The six-pack half empty between us. Seattle's summer dusk lingered eternal that night. The sky a bruised lavender over the hill. Fireflies. Rare urban visitors. Dancing lazy in the hydrangea bushes I'd let overgrow. Lily was with Sarah for the week. Her absence a ghost in the yard where her swing creaked empty in the breeze. Jake's confession hung heavy. Not suffocating but liberating. Like shrugging off a coat too tight for years. I saw this therapist, he said, voice threading the crackle of logs. After the parent-teacher thing. Some old-school guy named Dr. Ramirez. Office smells like sage and regret. Told me straight up, you're not broken, Harlan. Just late to the party. He chuckled, but it was edged, self-deprecating. Said my phase was a river I dammed up, and now it's flooding the town. I poked the fire, sparks rising like prayers. And Lily? How's she navigating the flood? His face softened, the teacher in him surfacing, patient, mapping history into lessons. Drawing boats. Me, you, Sarah, all in one leaky vessel. Calls you Yuiat still, but with hearts now. Sarah's been reading her those books, the ones with 2 moms or 2 dads baking cookies. Kids resilient. More than me. Sarah. The name still twisted something in my gut. Not jealousy exactly. She'd been nothing but kind in the handover notes. Texts about Lily's allergies updating like weather reports. But a residue of what-ifs. What if she'd fought? What if Jake had chosen the script over the rewrite? I voiced none of it. Just handed him a fresh beer, labels peeling in the heat. She's dating, you know, he added, popping the cap. This guy, Mark, sells boats on Lake Union. Laughs like a seal, but treats her right. I met him last weekend. Awkward as hell, but good. Closure, maybe. We sat with that, the fire's warmth pushing back the chill that settled after dark. My mind wandered to the youth center mural, sketches piling on my desk. Intertwined roots, rain-streaked windows cracking open to rainbows. I'd poured our mess into it, betrayal's sharp edges softened by forgiveness's curve. Jake noticed my silence, nudged my boot with his. Penny for him? Just thinking how American this all is. Suburbs, secrets, second acts. Like a bad indie flick, Brokeback meets father of the bride. He snorted, rolling to face me, grass staining his jeans. Nah, ours has better soundtrack. His hand found mine, calluses familiar now, not forbidden. We kissed there, under stars pricking the haze, slow and sure. No storm urgency, just the taste of barley and belonging. Shirts rumpled but intact, boundaries honored in the new normal. July unfurled sticky. Puget Sound a shimmering tease from our hill. Jake's studio downtown became our neutral ground. Loft with exposed brick. Views of ferries chugging like reluctant commuters. We'd cook, him burning garlic bread, me salvaging with takeout hacks. Then collapse on his thrift store couch, Netflix droning while we debated episode plots like they held life's blueprints. Schitt's Creek marathons. Laughing at Patrick's closet coming. Jake pausing mid-scene. That's me. Euphoric haircut pending. School started back, his texts turning sporadic. Soccer tryouts chaos. Miss your face. I drive down on Fridays, honking under his window like a rom-com cliché, whisking him to Capitol Hill for foe and people watching. Rainbow flags fluttering defiant in the drizzle. One night at a drag brunch on Broadway. He hooped at the Queen's lip sync to Cher, face flushed, whispering as we split eggs Benedict. This is freedom El Raw, but freedom's edge cuts. August heat wave baked the neighborhood, AC units humming dirges. And at a backyard barbecue, the Wilson's Annual, complete with cornhole and craft IPAs. The whispers crested. Old Mr. Patel, retired engineer with a mustache like a broom, clapped Jake's back too hard. Heard about the missus. Tough break. You, batting for the other team now? Jake stiffened, beer midway to lips. But Sarah, there with Mark, her hand light on his arm, chimed in smooth. Life's a remix, Mr. P. Jake's just grooving different. Laughter diffused it. But later, by the cooler, Jake's jaw ticked. Tired of the microscope. I squeezed his shoulder, voice low. Then flipped the lens. Tell them your story, not the rumors. He did, haltingly, over Labor Day weekend at his folks' cabin in the Cascades. I wasn't invited. Too soon, he said. But the call that night, voice thick with scotch. Mom cried. Dad hugged me. Said proud son. Always. Lily FaceTimed, drew us as superheroes. Relief cracked his words, and mine echoed back. Fall colors painted queen and fiery. Leaves crunching under runs we'd take together. Me lagging, him pacing, breaths sinking like heartbeats. Halloween, Lily as Elsa. Us tagging along trick-or-treating, her bucket overflowing. Jake's arm around my waist casual in the dark. Family? She declared, chocolate-smeared grin. and my chest ached full. But November brought shadows. Thanksgiving at Sarah's neutral turf, Mark carving turkey with dad joke flair. Conversation skirted landmines. Politics, we agreed on climate, dodged the rest. Lily's preschool drama, finger-painting wars. Jake's foot hooked mine under the table anchor, but when Sarah pulled me aside post-pie, he's happier. Thank you. Gratitude mixed with her quiet grief, a mirror to my own fears. What if this happiness fractured again? December tested it. Christmas lights competition lit the streets neon, and we strung ours collaborative. His soccer ornaments, my rainbow bulbs, Lily's handprint reindeers. Eve dinner at my place. Roast chicken, stuffing from his mom's recipe. When his phone buzzed, school emergency, a student's crisis. He left reluctant, promising return, but hours ticked, texts sparse. Worry gnawed. I paced, wine glass sweating, imagining worsts. He burst in at 2 a.m., snow-dusted, eyes haunted. Kid named Alex, 14, outed by texts, parents freaking. Locked himself in the bathroom with pills. My arms wrapped him instant, his body shuddering. Talked him down, but it's everywhere. The fear. We held vigil that night, dawn creeping gray, talking through it. His vow to start a GSA club, my offer to design posters. Safe spaces sketched in bold lines. We're in this, I said, kissing his temple. All of it. New Year dawned crisp. Resolutions whispered over mimosas. His, live louder. Mine, trust deeper. January thawed the ice. Literally, sound fairies cutting wakes like promises. And Jake's GSA launched. First meeting in the gym. 20 kids shuffling in nervous. He texted photo. Rainbow banner I'd made. Faces tentative but turning. You're magic. Spring equinox. March rains relentless. We hiked Discovery Park. Mud-sucking boots. Cedars dripping cathedral solemn. At the lighthouse, wind whipped, he dropped to one knee. Not proposal, but a vow. Small box with matching keychains, silver soccer ball and pixel heart linked. Partners. Official. Tears mixed with rain. Yes. But climax loomed. April's cherry blossoms fragile. Custody hearing. Amicable on paper. But Sarah's lawyer pushed for primary, citing stability. Jake's panic resurfaced. Nights pacing my floor, whispering fears. What if they see me as unfit? The gay dad trope. I fought it with him. Testimony prepped. Letters from Dr. Ramirez. My own affidavit. Jake's the steadiest man I know. Courtroom sterile. Judge stern but fair. Lily's crayon drawing submitted as exhibit. All of us smiling in a house with 2 roofs touching. Ruling joint, 50-50. We celebrated quiet. Ice cream with Lily on the ferry. Her squeals over seals. Jake's hand in mine under the table. Sarah across winking approval. Summer again, circle closing. Block party, same oak tree. But now his arm public around me. Introducing my partner, Elliot. Whispers faded to nods. Mr. Patel toasting with chai. To new chapters. The unexpected. Not the Wi-Fi fix, nor the kiss, but the rebuild. From betrayal's rubble, a home. Human, flawed ours. That summer's block party marked a turning point. The air thick with grilled peaches and the faint tang of lake weed from the sound. Laughter bubbling freer now that the neighborhood's collective exhale had settled. Jake's arms stayed slung around my shoulders as we circulated. Him flipping burgers with the precision of a man reclaiming his grill throne. Me passing plates of my lavender lemonade. A recipe swiped from a Portland aunt who'd always said, sweeten the sour. Lily darted between legs. Fairy wings from her birthday molten glitter on khakis. Her declaration to anyone listening. Daddies and mommy all love each other lots. Sarah, radiant in sundress and Mark's easy orbit, caught my eye across the yard and mouthed told you. Her smile a bridge we'd both crossed. But under the fairy lights, strung lazy from maple to maple, doubt's undercurrent tugged. Jake's GSA club had ballooned to 30 members by July's end. Meetings spilling into the library with debates on pronouns and prom dates. But backlash simmered. Anonymous notes in his mailbox. Keep your agenda off our kids. He'd crumple them in my kitchen, jaw set like concrete. But I'd see the flinch in his posture during our evening runs, strides shortening as if carrying invisible weight. One sweltering August afternoon, post-soccer camp drop-off, he showed at my door unannounced, face ashen under the ball cap pulled low. Principal called. Parent complaint. Said the club's indoctrinating. Wants a review. We collapsed on the couch, AC wheezing futile against the heat, his head dropping to my shoulder. What if they shut it down? These kids. Alex comes every meeting, eyes brighter now. Can't let. I tilted his chin up, thumb tracing the stubble I'd shaved that morning. Then we fight. Petitions, op-eds, my design skills for flyers that scream, "This is America, land of the free to be." He laughed, watery, and pulled me close, our bodies aligning in that practiced way, shirts sticking damp. No rush to more. Just holding, breath sinking to the distant hum of lawnmowers. A reminder that love's labor isn't always grand gestures but these gritty anchors. We rallied. Sarah co-signed a letter to the school board, her realtor polish translating to persuasive prose. Mark hosted a fundraiser barbecue at his lake house, boats bobbing like allies. I mocked up posters, vintage American flag motifs woven with pride stripes. Slogan "History includes us all." Jake presented at the board meeting, voice steady as he quoted Baldwin back at them. If the concept of God has any validity, it can only be to make us larger, freer, and more loving. The room, packed with students, parents, even Mr. Patel with his chai thermos, erupted in snaps, not claps, a queer courtesy we'd borrowed from the city. Approval came narrow, but it came. That night, victory beers on my patio, Jake toasted. To us, the unexpected MVPs. Fireflies again, mirroring the sparks in his eyes, and we made love there. First time fully, boundaries dissolving in moonlight. Not frantic, but reverent, bodies learning languages of trust. Afterward, tangled in blankets against the night's cool turn, he whispered dreams. Adopting a sibling for Lily someday, road-tripping Route 66 in a convertible, gray hairs and all. September schooled us anew. Lily started kindergarten, her backpack comically oversized. First day tears, Jake's more than hers. We walked her in tandem, Sarah and Mark trailing for the handoff, corridor buzzing with Crayola and nerves. Be brave, bug, he said, kneeling, and she hugged us both fierce, then skipped inside. In the parking lot, his hand found mine automatic. We're doing this right. But October's chill carried echoes of our first storm. A student, 17, broad-shouldered wrestler named Tyler, confided post-GSA, crushing on a teammate, terrified of the locker room fallout. Jake mentored gentle, sharing slivers of his own buried youth, but Tyler's dad found out. Stormed the school, yelling slurs that echoed down halls. Jake intervened, de-escalated with history teacher calm. Sir, this is about your son, not politics. Suspension for the dad, counseling mandated, but the bruise lingered, Jake second-guessing every word. Home that night, rain lashing windows like accusations, he paced my living room, flannel unbuttoned to reveal the t-shirt clinging from the dash through downpour. Am I making it worse? Pushing too hard. I blocked his path, hands on his chest, heart hammering under palm. You're lighting paths, Jake. For kids like I was, hiding in libraries, praying no one noticed the book I checked out twice. We sank to the rug, backs to the couch, and I pulled out my laptop, cueing Moonlight. Not for the pain, but the poetry. As Chiron walked those Miami beaches, Jake's arm tightened around me. That's us. Waves crashing. But we swim. November elections loomed. National tension bleeding local. Signs sprouting like weeds. Debates at dinner tables turning sharp. Our Thanksgiving was hybrid. My Portland family zooming in. Mom's virtual turkey carving a hoot. Dad toasting to chosen kin. Jake's folks drove up, his mom enveloping me in lavender hugs. Dad sharing war stories from Nam that veered to Love's the real battlefield. Son. Lily orchestrated pie fights, whipped cream flying, Mark dodging with bellows. Sarah raised her glass last, to messy miracles. December deepened bonds. Holiday market at Pike Place. Geese honking overhead, salmon tossing in stalls. We bought a tree too big for my living room, wrestling it home with twine and curses, ornaments clinking like wind chimes. Lily's gift to me. A finger-painted family tree, branches holding all our names in wobbly loops. Jake's to me. Slipped under pillow Christmas morn. A key to his place, engraved home. But January's frost bit hard. A GSA field trip to the Wing Luke Museum, Asian American history, intersectional pride, derailed when a chaperone parent balked at the queer exhibit. Jake mediated, voice fraying, and later vented in our kitchen over cocoa. It's exhaustion, L. The constant defend. I listened, then suggested a break. Weekend at that Snoqualmie cabin, no cells, just us. Snow blanketed the pass, cabin creaking welcome. We chopped wood, him expert swings, me stacking logs like art installations. Then inside, fire roaring, stew simmering. That night, under quilts thick as history, he proposed proper. Ring simple, silver with etched waves. Marry me? Not tomorrow, but when the world's ready, or screw it, anyway. Kneeling in socks on the bearskin rug, I said yes, tears salting our kiss. No champagne, just each other, bodies and souls aligning in the glow. February's wedding planning was whimsy. Small, courthouse with hilltop reception, invites to the patchwork crew. But March's cherry blossoms hid thorns. Tyler's crush went public, teammates' rejection public too. Bullying escalating to shoves. Jake's call to me from the ER waiting room. Voice hollow. Bruised ribs. My fault. No. I raced over, held him as he held Tyler's hand through x-rays. You're light. His choice to step in. April showers washed it clean, school assembly on kindness, Jake keynoting, standing ovation thundering. May bloom triumphant. Lily's school play casting her as tree in the Lorax. Us cheering rowdy from seats held with Sarah and Mark. June solstice circled back. Bonfire our tradition now. Neighborhood invited but intimate core gathered. Patel with stories, Wilson's with wine. Jake pulled me aside by the oak. 1 year since the floodgates. Grateful. Me too. Fireflies danced, Lily's laughter the chorus. And in that light, our story, dramatic, gay can, laced with betrayal's scar but romance's mend. Felt not ended, but endlessly beginning. The solstice bonfire's embers still smoldered come dawn. Ash-gray ghosts of the night's revelry scattered by a breeze that carried the briny whisper of the sound up the hill. I woke tangled in Jake's arms on a blanket we dragged from the house. Dew beating our skin, Lily's distant call. Daddies! Pancakes! Pulling us upright with yawns and grins. Sarah had taken her overnight, a rotation etched in shared calendars. And as we folded blankets, Jake's ring caught the rising sun. A modest gleam, waves etched like the life we'd navigated. Year 2 starts now, he murmured, kissing my temple. And I believed him, the air humming with possibility. July's heat pressed on, but our rhythm held steady, a dance learned through missteps. Jake's classroom became a haven, posters I'd designed peeling at edges but defiant. History is herstory, his story, their story. Tyler mentored freshmen now, his wrestlers build a shield for the shy, and at the end-of-term barbecue, he bear-hugged Jake. You saved me, coach. Jake deflected modest, team effort, but his eyes met mine across the picnic tables, gratitude flowing wordless. Vacation that August. Road trip south, I-5 unspooling like a ribbon through Oregon's emerald guts. Portland first. My folks' backyard bash, mom's hugs enveloping, dad grilling with tips on keeping the fire lit, metaphorically. Then Crater Lake, azure eye and volcanic skull, where we hiked rims hand in hand, Lily skipping stones with Mark and Sarah trailing. Evenings in motels with neon vacancies, we tuck her in with stories. Jake's Civil War yarns twisted whimsical. Then slip to the truck bed under stars, making out like teens, boundaries blurred but respected, love's fire banked hot but safe. September's back-to-school bustle brought fresh conflicts. A new parent, ex-military with a buzz cut and Bible quotes, challenged the GSA curriculum. Teaching sin as fact? escalating to board emails CC'd to the superintendent. Jake's principal backed him, but the strain showed. Late nights prepping defenses, his laugh thinning at our dinners. One evening, over stir-fry I charred, his patient salvage with soy. He slammed chopsticks down. Why fight for inches when they want miles back? I reached across the table, scars from old burns on my knuckles brushing his. Because those inches are worlds. For Tyler, Alex, the kid who hasn't shown up yet. We tabled it for Ted Lasso. Affirmations over soccer fields, and by credits, his head on my lap, he sighed. You're my Keeley, chaos whisperer. October's foliage turned the hill to flame, Halloween our annual extravaganza. Jake as Indiana Jones, whip cracked for effect. Me Han Solo vest over flannel. Lily a pint-sized Jedi with lightsaber that projected rainbows. Trick-or-treat procession swelled. Neighborhood kids in tow. Mr. Patel's samosas doled as treats. And in the candy haze, Jake pulled me onto the porch swing, Lily's hall between us. This, he said, gesturing the glowworm trail of costumed chaos, is the plot twist I didn't see coming. November's chill heralded holidays, but betrayal's shadow crept via proxy. Jake's brother, Tim, Spokane cop, conservative vein deep, visited for Thanksgiving, truck rumbling and loaded with venison and veiled barbs. Dinner at our place. Table extended with leaves, Sarah and Mark adding levity. Started civil. Football on low, pie crust crimping contest, Lily judge. But post-carve, Tim cornered Jake in the kitchen. Heard the school's a battlefield. You waving flags now. Dad wouldn't. Jake cut him off, voice steel. Dad's proud. And this is my life. Elliot's family. Tim's eyes flicked to me, assessing, then softened fraction. Just, careful. World's still wolves. He clapped my shoulder awkward later. Welcome, I guess. And drove off next morn. But the exchange lingered, Jake brooding on our run. Family's the hardest knot. I stopped mid-trail, breath clouds mingling. Untie it your way. We're the weave that holds. December dazzled. Tree trimming turned competitive, ornaments voted democratic. Topper a soccer ball with pixel wings. Christmas morn. Lily's glee over a dollhouse we'd co-built. Tiny furniture joint Vegas. Outshone gifts. Jake's folks joined, his mom baking lefts. Dad sharing 60s protest tales that bridged to ours. New Year's at Sarah's lake house. Fireworks over water, Mark's seal-bark toasts. We clinked to evolutions. Jake's hand in mine as Auld Lang Syne swelled. January's resolution stuck. His journaling gratitude, mine, pitching a queer history graphic novel. But February's frost-tested vows. Wedding date set, June, summer solstice echo. Planners buzzing. Venue a waterfront pavilion, menu fusion, faux pot stickers. Suits in twilight blues. Invites hand-stamped, but Jake's cold feet surfaced. Not doubt in us, but logistics. Lily walking me? Sarah maid of honor? Feels like rewriting everyone's script. We tabled at therapy. Dr. Ramirez now ours. Sage-scented sessions unpacking closet's debris. Weddings aren't endpoints, he said, glasses perched. They're declarations amid the mess. Jake nodded, but tension coiled. March's reigns mirrored moods. Tyler's college acceptances rolled in. UW on scholarship, majoring psych, and his goodbye GSA speech gutted us. Coach Harlan taught me history's heroes hide in plain sight. Like him. Jake teared up in the empty gym after, me holding him against bleachers. Proud hurts good. April bloomed adversarial. Tim called, outburst apology. Seeing my kid's light? Changed mine. But bigger storm. School levy failing, GSA funding slashed. Jake rallied petitions door to door. Me designing yard signs. Vote yes for yes, inclusive ed. Neighborhood canvas turned festive. Patel's chai stops, Wilson's cookies, and levy passed by whiskers. Victory lap a pub crawl on Capitol Hill, rainbow shots all around. May's graduation's layered joy. Tyler's cap toss. Lily's preschool promo with finger puppet skits. We hosted a joint bash. Backyard strung lights, keg of root beer for kids. And in the mingle, Sarah pulled Jake aside. emerging with linked arms, her whisper to me. He's all in. So am I for this family. June's wedding week crackled electric. Rehearsal dinner at the pavilion. Fairy horns serenading. Featured toasts. Mom's Elliot's heart was always big enough for two. Jake's dad's, from foxholes to forever, love wins wars. Lily, flower girl fierce and tool. Practiced petal tosses on the dock. Giggling splashes. Day of dawned golden. Sounds sparkling like champagne. I waited at the altar. Makeshift under arbors. Officiant a queer rabbi friend. Heart-thumping bassline. Jake appeared. Lily on his arm scattering petals wild. Suit hugging broad. Eyes locked mine. Vow unspoken yet. Ceremony wove personal. Readings from Baldwin and Whitman. Rings exchanged with waves now encircling fingers. I choose you every storm, he said, voice carrying over gulls. In chaos, clarity. Kiss sealed it. Cheers erupting. Lily yelling again. Reception a whirl. Faux station steaming. Band blending Motown with indie folk. First dance to Beyond by Leon Bridges. His cheek to mine. Whispering, unexpected perfection. Honeymoon clipped. Week at the cabin. Snowmelt streams rushing. Spent hiking, cooking, loving unhurried. Back home, life resumed amplified. Joint taxes filed. Lily's bedtime coroutines. Neighborhood now the Harland Allens by acclamation. But July's heatwave baked complacency. A GSA alum, Alex now college freshman, emailed Jake. Outed violently at home, couch surfing. Jake drove hours to fetch him, installing him in our spare, now guest/adventure room. Nights, we'd hear Alex's pacing. Jake's soft talks through the wall. My designs for his future dorm mocked on the fridge. August deepened commitment. Tim visited proper. Barbecue with brotherly ribs, bonding over Mariners games, and confessed his own what-ifs. A college fling buried. You're brave, man. Wish I'd been. September schooled forward. Lily's kindergarten tales filled evenings, crayon crushes, recess revolutions, Jake and I tag-teaming homework, our rings clinking over worksheets. October's foliage framed anniversaries. 1 year from proposal. Cabin revisit with Esmores and stars. November's Thanksgivings multiplied. Tables groaning. Kin expanded. December closed the circle, tree taller, lights brighter. As snow dusted the hill, Jake pulled me to the window, arms wrap. From Wi-Fi glitch to this. Human magic. Indeed, the unexpected. A lifetime scripted in sparks. Winter's hush blanketed Queen and that December. Snow rare and reverent. Muffling the world's clamor to a cotton-soft quiet broken only by the occasional plow's growl or Lily's sled whoops down the mild incline of our shared backyard. Now contiguous, fences lowered like barriers of the heart. Jake and I had merged households post-wedding, my craftsman absorbing his Victorian's echoes. His history tomes shelving beside my sketch pads, Lily's playroom spilling toys into halls, Sarah and Mark frequent visitors with lake stories and Mark's infamous charcuterie boards. Life, in its American patchwork, felt stitched whole, not seamless but strong. January's resolutions evolved. Jake's journal now a shared leather tome, entries alternating. His gratitude for Elliot's steady gaze in boardroom battles. Mine for Jake's laugh, cannon that clears storms. We volunteered tandem at the youth center, my mural unveiled to gasps. Evergreens rooting rainbows, plaque reading, for the hidden histories. Love's long game. Alex, settled at community college with a graphic arts scholarship. My nudge. Interned there, his sketches fierce and free. February's frost etched windows fern-like. Wedding anniversaries marked intimate. Dinner at our first storm tie spot. Fortune cookies cracking prophecies. Unexpected journeys lead home. Jake's eyes twinkled. Told you. But March's thaw unearthed old fault lines. Tim, emboldened by his visit, came out haltingly, to his precinct then family. Sparking a spoken ripple that washed back. Jake's mom calling tearful. Your brother's light now, thanks to yours. Pride swelled, but so did caution. At a GSA alumni meetup, a younger kid shared rejection scars. Jake's arm around my waist tightening unconscious. April's showers greened the hill, cherry blossoms carpeting streets pink. Lily's birthday bash, 6 now, unicorn theme run amok. Drew the block, Patel's with ladus, Wilson's piñata swinging. In the chaos, Jake scooped me for a twirl, whispering our little plot twist, as candy rained. May's graduation's layered, Alex's associate's degree, cap toss with us cheering rowdy. His thank you speech, Mr. Harlan and Elliot anchors in the undertow. Jake teared, my hand in his pocket squeezing. June's solstice bonfire grew legendary, neighborhood potluck sprawling. Tables groaning under potlucks, bands jamming folk punk anthems. Toasts circled, Sarah's to chosen chaos. Tim's drive-up surprise, brothers got game. Fireflies swarmed. Lily's Esmery sticky hugs the finale. July's heat tested tempers. School year's end brought budget crunches. GSA spared, but arts cut, my freelance dipping. Jake moonlighted tutoring, evenings us pouring finances over pizza. Will weather, intimacy deepened in stress, nights bodies seeking solace, reaffirming in whispers what words sometimes fumbled. August's road trip redux. This time east, Idaho Panhandle for Tim's wedding. His partner, a soft-spoken librarian named Chris, rings exchanged lakeside. Jake best man's speech borrowed my polish. Love's not linear. It's the detour that defines. Receptions dance till dawn. Our twos becoming fours in easy alliance. September school start hummed routine. Lily's first grade bus stop vigils. Jake's syllabus tweaks. My novel pitch landing agent interest. Queer cowboys on the Oregon Trail. Sold. Conflicts minor. A parent email flare. Douse diplomatic. Lily's playground slight. Mended with ice cream council. October's colors ignited runs. Leaves crunching symphonic. Breaths visible vows. Halloween epic. Family costumes as Stranger Things squad. Jake's Hopper grizzled perfect. My Steve Harrington flipping hair. Treat halls rival GDP. Porch swing debriefs our ritual. November's Thanksgivings ballooned. Dual dinners. Portland trek with all. My folks' farm table extended. Dad's toast slurring sentimental. Jake carved eloquent. Lily's prayer. For daddy's hands and mommy's laughs. December's holidays layered. Hanukkah lights mingling Christmas glow. Kwanzaa kin from Sarah's side adding kin-era candles. Tree trimming turned orchestral. Lily directing, ornaments heirlooms now. Tyler's signed soccer ball. Alex's sketched star. January 2027 dawned reflective. Over coffee, steam curling like questions. Jake mused, 5 years from the storm. Feel like yesterday. Or tomorrow. I traced his ring, waves worn smooth. February's anniversaries amplified. Cabin getaway with surprise. Lily and Sarah/Mark joining midway. Snowball fights and stew communal. Vows renewed casual under pines. Still choosing. March's novelty pitched. Agent deals. Signing party at the youth center. Mural backdrop. Jake's GSA now district model invites to conferences. Us tag teaming panels, his history mine art. April's blooms framed adoptions talks. Fostering next. A sibling for Lily vetted careful. Home visits past. Nerves electric. May's proms peaked. Chaperoning Jake's. Me DJ booth. Teens twirling tentative. Tyler, home from college, slow danced public. His boyfriend a shy artist, our nods approval. June's solstice bonfire crested. Full circle, guests from all arcs. Spoken kin, Portland pulls, neighborhood nucleus. Toasts epic, moms from Wi-Fi to wonder. Tim's detours to destiny. July's heat forged forward. Foster placement. A 7-year-old named Kai. Wide-eyed from group homes, settling slow. Jake's patience teacher true. Lily's big sis instincts blooming. My story's bedtime bridges. August's family swelled. Kai's first sound fairy. Awestruck at Orcus breaching. School jitters joint, backpacks bought, buses befriended. September's routines rooted. Dual drop-offs, homework harmonies. Jake's club welcoming Kai curious. October's foliage framed firsts. Kai's costume ghost, treat or treat troop expanded. November's Thanksgivings tripled. Tables turned feasts. kin kaleidoscope. December closed luminous. Tree towering, lights labyrinth, gifts wrapped in histories. As snow fell soft that eve, family piled couches. It's a wonderful life flickering. George Bailey's bridge jump mirrored our glitches. We nestled, Jake's arm anchor. Unexpected, he whispered, but essential. In that glow, our tale, dramatic arcs, betrayals bridged, emotions etched, romance rooted, humanistic heart, unfolded not as ended, but eternal. A gay American epic, Wi-Fi sparked, love wired forever.